and they're able to hold on here.
Man, I hate watching highlights because it makes me
you want to play, right?
I want to go home and play. CTF has been fun to watch on here. I mean, it just brings back those classic like Black Ops 2 moments, which I've always loved.
And we are back for what is likely our marquee matchup of the night. Going to be Optic Gaming going up against Envy. It's going to be Optic's first match. Envy played yesterday, looked incredibly impressive.
Yeah, Envy with a new lineup here in Stage 2. It's going to be Apathy and John replacing TP and Ace.
John was
very good
beast.
yesterday. John was a monster yesterday. He's going to have a lot on his plate, though, dealing with the SMG players on Optic Gaming, though, Diane. That's
going to be the question. If you're a team trying to take on Optic, who are going to be those players to kind of counter your Slayers? Who's going to take out Scump? Who's going to go up against Formal? John, like you said, has his work cut out for him. Let's talk a little bit about this Optic Gaming roster, though, first.
Obviously, they're your Stage 1 winners. They go to the Crown Invitational. They win that as well. Formal, Scump, Crim, and Karma, 4 extremely talented players. Scump, the Stage 1 MVP, I think, by all of our kind of opinions. The guy's just a monster with the SMG. I'm interested to see how the update and some of the nerfs and buffs affect him there.
Well, I'm curious. I was watching, I think someone streamed that he was playing with, and I heard him commenting a little bit on it, saying he felt it was going to be a little bit more difficult for him now with some of the tweaks to, your speed when you're aiming down sight with an SMG. Will that affect him at all here? It didn't seem to slow up the subs too much over the past 2 days, but we'll see how it affects him in this matchup. Now, on the other side, we've got Envy. The question here, when they remove Aix and TP, who's going to be the leader for this team? Who's going to step up big, be that just the in-game leader, the vocal guy? They got to get them hyped, the one to lead the direction. And we were putting that pressure on JCap, but I think the question mark for the other, half that's remaining from that former team is Slasher. What are we going to get from Slasher? At times he looked just brilliant. How much was he affected maybe by the negativity of Aix? Is he going to be a much better player this time?
Well, look, I think the decision kind of came down to, do we keep Aix and Teep and let Slasher kind of walk, or do we keep Slasher? And obviously they made the decision to keep Slasher. And now, nope, you make that decision, you got to perform. And I think there's a lot of eyes on Slasher.
Yeah, a ton of eyes on, really, Slasher and JCap. I don't think there's as much pressure really on the new guys coming in.
Yeah.
Can they perform? Time will tell. So far, looking good. But if you're going to make a change like that, and you're Slasher and you're JCap, you have got to come up big in this.
Yep.
Should be hopping into the Ban Protect here shortly. We'll see if either of these teams is going to be able to really influence the other, maybe take a little bit of control in this one. And my gut tells me you got to favor Optic Gaming here.
You do.
You won Stage 1. Yeah, you went, 22-2 was, or 20-2 throughout the course of the Stage 1 regular season. They're clear favorites.
Without a doubt. I think you're going to learn a lot about this Envy team during this match. I know that obviously in Stage 1, Envy in their first matchup with Optic Gaming, when they were on fire, one of the best teams in the league. It goes all the way to Game 5. It's an Infection S&D. Optic Gaming wins that one 6-0. Second matchup, not as close. That was when they had Havoc. I believe that one ended in a 3-0.
I think it was a 3-0.
Quick. Yeah, it was a close 3-0, but I think this is going to be a big test to see what this new lineup at Envy can do.
Yeah, and I think we saw yesterday, they definitely get a lot more versatility in S&D with the snipers. When you're adding the ability of what they can do.
John's a pretty good sniper.
They didn't really have that play at all. I'm curious, though, when you have someone like Formal and Karma on the other side, are they going to target the snipers in S&D? We're going to have to wait and see how they decide to facilitate that in the Ban and Protect. But I just feel like you've got a much more versatile team in that particular game mode. And we saw when it came to respawns, John, Apathy, they can just light on fire and come up with big play moments.
Yeah, and we're going to see the Ban and Protect phase starting up right now. So it's going to be JCap getting rid of Overclock there early. Formal going to get rid of the flashbangs. These are two teams that want to get the flashes out, want to get the suns out. Then you'll probably see Simtexes go also. And you're
not surprised to see those back-to-back.
Get rid of stuns, and then Slasher getting rid of rapid fire. Expect High Caliber to come off the board soon as well.
Yeah, High Caliber should be leaving this one shortly as well. We're halfway through this. Pretty standard thus far from both of these guys. Nothing really shocking here.
No, and I think maybe we could see something like a Kinetic Armor go. You're going to see the HCXD go at the hands of Karma. Be interested to see what Apathy likes to get rid of. Obviously, Scump uses that Kinetic Armor all the time. It's going to be High Caliber, so pretty much a standard ban out of the NV side. Last 2 votes go. The Ban and Protect process is going to be Scump getting rid of Simtexes. John, last one to cast
Maybe
his vote.
you think Heatwave could come off?
Heatwave, Kinetic, one of those two. Maybe the Shiva. They're worried about the Shiva.
I'm just curious, Optic, obviously, they love having Kinetic in the hands of Scump. He can do so much damage, but the Karma has been one of the better players when it comes to Heatwave, so they may be opting to keep these things in. It's all going to come down to John, and that's right at Karma. They want to get rid of that Danger Close. You know how powerful he can be with those nades, with Danger Close.
Well, we saw Aqua do it in the Elevate match against H2K.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, double nades, he picked up 3 or 4 kills in that first Hardpoint.
Made them all switch into
Easy,
Flak.
yeah.
Pretty much immediately, and not that it's going to change your gameplay too much, but obviously you're not starting with Flak. You have this play style you want to go with. When you're making that change pretty early into the game, it's going to change up maybe your play style a little bit.
Optic Gaming's going to go standard. This is what you see out of them always. Kinetic on Scump, Karma Heatwave, Crim Camo, then Formal's going to be running that Scythe. Did not catch the side of Envy. I'd love to look at that again. We can talk about the Envy side of the specialist draft.
Yeah, we'll talk about it a little bit more once we get into it. But we've got a new video for you guys we worked on with Activision here. For the new viewers coming in, fans of Black Ops 3, maybe you haven't watched a lot of gameplay over the past couple of years, you're getting back into competitive Call of Duty, or you're a completely new viewer. Hardpoint 101, let's take a look.
In one of the more fast-paced modes in multiplayer, Hardpoint sees 2 teams rushing to secure a specified territory on the map. Once a location has been locked down, the team holding the position has to fight to protect it. If players from both teams are within the hardpoint, the area is considered contested until only one team remains in its location. During gameplay, the hardpoint territory will respawn several times to a new location, forcing all players racing to lock down the new area every 60 seconds. Team to a score of 250 points within the 5-minute time limit wins the game. Stand your ground in this take on King of the Hill, as every second counts.
All right, we're back, getting ready almost to start off this game 1. We want to hear your guys' feedback, though, with the hashtag CWLPS4. Let us know your thoughts on Twitter. Envy has looked strong, but how are they going to match up against this top dog Optic Gaming team? Are they going to be able to hang with this side? I think that's the question all of us are asking. They look great, but do they have what it takes to play them tough here in this first matchup?
I think this will be a pretty good match. I don't want to go up and say it's going to be like a game 5 or whatnot. I think Envy has the chance to take a map, make some games close. I still got to favor Optic Gaming, though.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there, but can they push to the distance? If Envy wins this, it's going to be 4 games, 5 games. Yeah. They're going to have to take Optic Gaming to the limit, but we've got game 1 locked and loaded. Let's toss it over to our casters, Courage and Revan.
Here we go, folks. The El Clasico of Call of Duty, Envy versus Optic Gaming. Envy with the big showing yesterday up against Elevate. They've yet to lose a map so far in Stage 2. Obviously, Optic Gaming coming into this one, their first match of Stage 2. They're also our match of the week tomorrow. We have matches Thursday now at Stage 2, so it's definitely awesome to spread out some more Call of Duty. But Revan, coming into this one, I think Envy got a great map draw versus Optic Gaming here, especially this first one. Breach Hardpoint is notoriously Optic Gaming's weakest hardpoint. Let's see if Envy can capitalize.
Yeah, they actually look human on this map from time to time, and everybody has high hopes for this Envy squad after seeing them perform yesterday in their match over Elevate. They took that 3-0, but like you were saying, this is the first time we'll be able to see Optic Gaming here in Stage 2. Let's see what they can bring to the table.
Well, off the start, we are watching Envyus, as they mentioned on the analyst desk. John had a monster day yesterday. Look for him to be the guy competing against Scump throughout this series. Off the start, he goes to the flank on the hard point, gets one, gets the second as well, and that's going to be early control of the hill to Envy as they go up 6-3.
And this is exactly what John brings to this Envious squad. A lot of pressure inside the hard point, and this is where he plays at his best. When these are high-impact kills on the line, and he has to get them to secure his team some points, John always plays well when he's in the objective.
Karma just hit the unorthodox lower wall run right outside of Palace, picked up 2 kills, cleared out middle map for Optic Gaming, now doing what he can to stay alive inside of Lab. It does finally fall. Envy up by about 10 seconds here, and this is the game mode, right, where I think Envy have improved the most with their new lineup in Hardpoint, with the new slaying presence on the map of John and Apathy. Look for Envy to put up a much bigger fight than I think a lot of Greenwall fans would like to see in this first hill.
Huge kills for Optic in rotation, but Envy, they still maintain control of the spawns. Let's go over to the anchor player. It's going to be Slasher. He has some important kills to make, and, well, just like that, you're going up against Formal. He gets taken out rather quickly, so it's going to be John out next in line to defend, and just like that, Optic Gaming break in, and now they control the hard point. Karma, he's got the Vesper in his hands.
Karma definitely has the weapon of choice right here, staying alive inside the hill, and this is what makes Optic Gaming such a strong team. Look where Scump is pushed up to. He was all the way near that B-bomb site right outside construction, now just staying alive, playing in these unorthodox positions, catching Envy off guard. Optic Gaming have now doubled the score of the boys in blue.
Great push from Envy, though. They're going to push it. They're going to take control of the spawns, and just like that, John takes out Karma inside the hardpoint. Crimsix is there to respond, but John stays alive. He trades the kill, still getting time in favor of Team Envyus, and if they get the remaining scrap time, it's going to be essentially a tight game.
John now just 25 points off of earning himself the lightning strike, also has Heat Wave to use. Let's watch him as he winds up rotating over. He's got 2 opponents to shoot at, tags up 1. It's not going to happen as of yet. This is absolutely crucial. If he gets 1 kill, he not only earns that lightning, but the Hellstorm as well. He'll soar out towards middle map. Kills being traded in this objective, and here comes John. He's got 1 player to pinch. This could be the kill he needs. Well, it's all been cleared out by his team. Now staying alive inside the hard point, John taking his sweet time to find this kill. He knows how important this could be.
And even though he doesn't get those kills as he flank around, he plays an important role because he blocks that backside spawn for Optic Gaming. You saw there on the minimap briefly, they spawned so far away. He's unable to earn those streaks. Unfortunately, his teammates soaked up some bullets there. I was thinking maybe he would use his Heat Wave just to secure a kill.
No, doesn't wind up happening. Plays that back corner. Formal with an unfortunate team kill there, but it doesn't impact Optic Gaming too much. As
Look at the spawns for Envy.
Hold down the control of this hard point with only 20 seconds left. I love the heads-up decision from Envy. They're just going to rotate right towards Greenhouse, and Crim6 with the VMP was watching over that back wall run. He's going to make it impossible for his teammate to get flanked in the hard point. After the first 3 hills, it's Optic Gaming up by about 30 seconds. The rotation to Greenhouse has come in. JCap doing what he can to stay alive. Does take down Scump. Envy, though, gets taken down in the hard point.
Oh, nice kill from JCap. That's a big one, too, because they spent a lot of time. They invested a lot of time. That early rotation over near Palace, it was Slasher and JCap their early position. And JCap, that's a big kill for him to make because it allows Envy to remain in control of this Greenhouse hardpoint. Looking over near bottom broken is going to be JCap. Slasher spawning pretty far away. So, Envy, they just need to stay alive. Right now, Spawn's definitely in favor of Optic.
JCap doing what he can to just be a nuisance inside this hardpoint. Thankfully for Envy, Karma did just fall off the map after getting 1 kill. This game's still very, very close. No surprise here. John was actually a part of Luminosity, one of the teams I remember who took a map off Optic Gaming in one of the online 25Ks on this exact map. Right now, John currently sitting at 13-9, leading his team in the slaying department.
All right, so Optic a little bit late here on rotation. That's because they're going to be getting the scrap time over near Greenhouse, but you see 1 player for Envy. That's going to be Slasher. He spawns a little bit further away, so he has a chance to maybe catch some Optic Gaming members in rotation. There you go. He's going to find Crim6 middle map. Gets a second one here. Closes out the kill on the Karma. Looking for a third one. Can he pick this one up as well? No, he cannot. It's going to be Scump shutting him down. And take a look at Scump. 16 and 11 right now. Let's stick with him through the respawn as it's going to be Optic Gaming setting up to break.
It's a really even effort right now from Optic Gaming. Okay. They're not slaying as hard as you normally would see, but that's expected against the slaying power of a team like Envy. John still leading that Envious squad, not only in kills, but in score. He's got more time in the hard point than the rest of his team combined. 111 to 109. What a close game, number 1 on this best of 5.
Yeah, good use of Heat Wave there from John just to shut down Scump as he was trying to get control of the spawns once again in favor of Optic Gaming.
Shots.
But Envy, they're looking really good right now, man.
They most certainly are, Revin. At the end of the first rotation, it's looking like Envy are going to be up. Slasher now challenging 1 player, top middle hot, gets the better of Formal there. Uncharacteristic of Formal to lose that gun engagement, especially when he had the drop on Slasher. 128 to 111, but Crim6 did the animation fully go through for Slasher? It does appear so. Will not have that scythe. Big kill from Crim6 as Optic Gaming get control of the middle hut.
Yeah, that's a huge kill. I'm not sure if Crim6 even knew that Slasher just brought out the scythe. I'm sure he saw the extra points, but take a look at the kills for Optic Gaming. You have Crim, he's double negative. Formal 10 and 16. Karma is negative. The only person doing well in slaying is going to be Scump. He's positive 5 right now, whereas on the side of Envyus, you have John. He's going big. He's +6, plus, as you were saying, a lot of time inside the hardpoint. JCap now earns himself another camo, but slaying right now, clearly in favor of Envy.
So even are these two teams at the moment. Slasher has found his way into this game as well. Just broke that 20 kill mark. 138 to 132. Slasher going to try to push towards this hard point. Actually bumps off his teammate. J-Cap, though, does get the better of Scump, who tried to get the angle on him there. Pre-fires that wall, does get the kill. And again, it looks like Envy have broken in, and they have an opportunity to get the rest of the scrap time. And look at where Optic Gaming currently are on the map. They are spawning so far out. They legitimately could not be further from this cage's hard point. And it's because of who's the player currently top AC. Apathy got a 2-piece, now make it 3 kills right outside that palace wall.
And look how close Envy are now spawning towards the hard point. If Apathy picks up this kill, yes, he does.
Man.
So they're going to maintain control of these spawns. And this is so huge for the cage's hard point. You saw how close Envy were. So when it comes to rallying the troops and regrouping inside the hard point, Envy could do it a lot quicker than Optic.
Optic doing what they can to lock down this hill. They finally have broken through the front line. J-Cap uses camo, but Scump gets the better of him there. John, though, has found his way in with another engagement win versus Crim6. Crim still -10 in this game one. Very uncharacteristic of him, as Optic Gaming is being outslayed by about 15 kills in this one at the moment, Revan.
I just can't get over how good John is. He does it all. He's just like a complete player. He's +5. He's chipping in with the slang. Plus, he has 1:46 inside the hard point. Now it's going to be Scump. He's kind of keeping Optic Gaming in this game, right? He's got the most kills. He's doing what John is doing for Envy here. He's got kinetic armor available. Let's go over to somebody who's going to be a bit more in the action. It's going to be Formal with early position inside the hard point. He gets taken out. Let's switch over to Karma.
I really haven't seen Formal use the M8 at all this game. Pretty surprised to see that, to say the least. Has elected to use that Man of War for the most part. Gets 1 kill there, does get traded on out. John tries to pop that heat wave. Doesn't look like he's actually hit anybody with it, and it's Scump with kinetic armor who gets 2. Now just 1 kill off the Cerberus. Will he wind up earning this final score streak? Oh, he's going to get shot in the back. Not going to get it, but 2 streaks now in favor of Optic Gaming. Definitely tools to use as they try to get this game in their favor. Tied up yet again, Revan, at 179 apiece.
Absolutely needs to push this spawn out. If he's able to take control of top AC, he could have took out potentially all 3 members for Optic Gaming near the middle of the map. But as time starts to wind down here in Palace, you need to see Envy start to begin their rotation over towards Greenhouse. Right now, it looks like Optic Gaming will have the early position there, but the heat wave comes in, and that's going to be Karma picking up 2
Karma
clutch kills,
3 with that
3
heat
clutch
wave.
kills in rotation.
Karma hits 3 players with the heat wave. We always mention how he's one of the best in the game at using that specialist. Scump doing what he can to stay alive, top broken. Wins that first engagement, can't get out with his life though. Heads up reaction time from Slasher to trade that kill. More pressure continuing to come on in. Envy pinch on in, and it's a swift, easy break. They get a couple kills, and they make the most of the opportunity, right?
You know, the breaks for Envy have been near perfect throughout this entire game.
And Optic does the same.
Yeah, and they respond right back. It's shaping up like this game is going to go all the way down to the wire. It looks like Scumpy did wind up using that Hellstorm missile, still has the lightning strike. It's going to be Crim6 inside the hardpoint. He falls, switching over to J-Cap, who just got his minute-second inside the hardpoint. John's there to trade the kill. Such a back-and-forth game with 25 seconds remaining on the glass hardpoint.
Optic have to push this.
Optic, they're going to decide to push this. But Envy, they're investing some time as J-Cap, he's trying to get some early position. John stays alive inside the hardpoint. He picks up 2, goes for the 3rd, and he gets it on Karma. Looking for the 4th on the player up top, puts down some good shots with him, and he will finish the kill there on Formal. Great series of plays from John right there.
John is playing like a madman right now for Envy. J-Cap is already in position to lock down the spawns for this next hill. Optic Gaming looking like they're going to give up this first hardpoint game. Formal's brought out the sight. This could be the last hope for OG. Envy now just 10 seconds away. Formal doing what he can to contest this hardpoint. Nade still being used. Envy have done a great job with them so far this game. The sight now out for Slasher. He clears the hardpoint. And just like that, Optic Gaming are going to drop game number 1 to Envy.
Camo for Crim comes in play. J-Cap does fall. So still possible for Optic Gaming to win this map, but still 1 second needed for Team Envyus to close this one out. Now, they're going to set the break. Why not? You have 1 second. Optic Gaming, they're forced to get every single second remaining on this hardpoint. So Envy, there are 2 things they could do. They could, set up for the rotation back towards mid and just try to trap Optic Gaming on this side of the map. Teammate comes in from Karma. Big kill for him as he takes on Slasher. Sure, it's close for Optic Gaming to drop this map, but they're not giving up without a fight.
They're keeping 1 player right outside of that closet door to just kind of pop on in, get that last kill to get the hardpoint in their favor. This should do it. There it is.
Yeah.
Envy win it 250 to 225. And they take hardpoint on breach off Optic. And while it is tough to beat Optic Gaming at hardpoint, I kind of mentioned how this is one of Optic Gaming's weaker game modes.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. If I remember kind of the most hard points they dropped throughout Stage 1, most of them have been on breach from what I remember. But you could see how tough that situation at the end there, how tough it was for Optic Gaming. You can only give up, you have no points to give up, essentially. Envyus, they only need one break, and they played on the rotation. Optic Gaming knew that they had to push out, establish some sort of presence near the middle of the map, and then they pinched in from both sides, right? They came around the back lab door and hit from the side near the cage's hardpoint was, and Karma just couldn't pick up both kills.
Apathy stayed alive in the back side of the map. That got a spawn for his teammate. They pinched from the 2 areas like you just mentioned, and that will do it for game number 1. We'll be sure to pull up the after-action report. John, though, from start to finish of that game, was leading that Envyus lineup. What a great pickup for this team so far.
Yeah.
Apathy as well. He had a little bit of a slower start alongside Slasher. Both of those players really began to heat up, and that's what gave Envy that lead that got them the win.
Even JCat, remember when I highlighted him as he began the rotation from the glass hard point all the way towards back lab? John was able to pick up a couple of clutch kills there just to solidify some time, but JCat, he was leading the rotations each and every time for Envyus and helping Slasher maintain control of the spawns.
Pretty ridiculous stuff for the first game of this best of 5. We'll go ahead and pull up the scoreboard so you can take a look for yourself to really see who struggled in that game. Crim6, the one that stands out for me from Optic Gaming, 24-37. Also Formal, 24-34 from him. Uncharacteristic games from both of those players. Just really couldn't seem to get anything going on the map.
Yeah, and you touched upon it. You know, Formal using the Man of War a little bit more throughout this map. Normally you see him with the M8 in his hands. Maybe that's something that affected him.
Maybe that's something that Optic Gaming have tried to switch up to possibly give them an advantage on this map. Didn't work out this time around. I saw Mr. X and Maven watching intently from the analyst couch. I know they have some thoughts of this game. Let's send it over to them.
All right, thanks, guys. This series becomes a whole hell of a lot more interesting because
It definitely does.
Optic very rarely loses hard points. That's a very tough mode to beat them in. Envy comes in, takes this first one. I said last night I'm impressed by Envy. I continue to be very, very impressed.
John was just massive. I think he finishes like with 36 or 38 kills.
Been an all-star,
2 minute plus in the hill. Just a sick game from him. I thought Apathy played well. Also, and then like they talked about, you know, Cap did a good job rotating towards those next hills. They were able to beat them. I mean, Krim and Formal, they both played pretty poor games, too.
They did, and I want to take a look. We have a couple replays here. This is around the middle of the game where Optic's finally going to take the lead. You know, they were kind of playing from behind for a while. You see they're down 5 here, top middle. It's where they start to get a little bit of control, take a lead in this one. The submachine guns start going big. You see Krim had a rough game, but he had a pretty solid hard point here. It's funny because all the kills coming in throughout this were Krim and Formal, really. They were picking up the kills, going really large here, but overall, throughout the course of this game, they both struggled mightily.
Yeah, I mean, Karma had a pretty good game, and usually when, well, you figure, you know, Formal's always going to show up. Usually when Karma or Krim, one of those two has a good game, they usually win, but, you know, Formal just didn't show up in this one. I believe at one point, him and Krim are like 19 and 30.
Well, I'm curious. I mean, this is going to be the conversation. Is it the new Envy roster? Are they this strong, or is it partially you get a little overconfidence from Optic? You know, you just won stage 1. A couple of the guys, what was it, Karma, and I think Karma and Krim stayed in Australia for a while longer.
Yeah.
So they probably had a ton of scrims in, but not to take away from Envy, because Envy was incredibly impressive. You don't beat Optic at hardpoints. You'd rarely outslay them. They did it.
No, the new Envy looks really good. I mean, the match that we saw yesterday against Elevate, and then obviously this is a small sample in map number 1, but they looked great again today.
Well, we'll take a look then at this green hard point. This is where Envy kind of won the game. I know it's stretched out a bit, but this is where they really took over. Remember, Karma, I think it opened in the back, actually. Karma got that three-piece with the heat wave, and then it was back and forth battle throughout really this entire hard point until the second half when they were able to close it out. You see there's 20 seconds left, and these all really end up going the side. This is the three-piece from Jump. This is a huge one. He gets all 3 here. This guarantees kind of those final 15 to 20 seconds for his side, and this is when they hit that 2:37 mark and start to close things out.
Yeah, I mean, he goes on a 5 streak just on this hard point alone, and you see cross map. This is when Cap picks up some big kills. His players try and get those spawns for that 5th hill, and he's able to take out 2 players there. It's a big sequence of events there for Envy.
It was.